roasting a joint of beef today. Now, rather than just do it plain and simple, a little bit of salt and black pepper, I thought what I'd do is put some herbs and spices, rub it into the outside of the meat and just get some lovely flavours in there. Now, my piece of beef weighs around about 2 kilos, and this is the top side, so it's quite a lean piece of meat, but I made sure there was a little bit of fat just left on top because that kind of helps it cook and keeps it moist, and want to make sure you baste it and things. Now, I'm going to be using a sort of mixture of herbs and spices, and we're going to rub it on the outside, and when it's sort of nearly cooked, then I'm going to put a little bit of garlic and red wine vinegar, just pour it over the top to give it that extra garlicky flavour. So when it comes out, it's delicious and flavoursome. Now with my joint of beef, I've washed it, dried it, and I've left it out of the fridge for about an hour just to let it come up to room temperature, because that's always a good starting point for when you want to cook it. So mine's all prepared, ready for this rub. So let's go through the ingredients of the rub, all the herbs and spices we're going to use. Now to make up this rub, I've got all my sort of spices and herbs laid out on that little sort of plate there. Now I'll just go through the quantities. What we've got is 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, onion sort of granules, cayenne pepper, oregano and thyme. So that's all the sort of dried herbs and spices we're going to use, got them all laid out there. And what we're also going to do is later on, we're going to sort of crush down some garlic, add a little bit of vinegar, I'm going to use red wine vinegar, and we're going to just pour that on the sort of joint of beef, probably about 20-30 minutes before the end, because it just gives it that beautiful flavour. Now I've also got an onion there, which I'm going to cook in the juices, and we're going to add a little bit of water with the joint. So, you know, that kind of starts to caramelise and really good later on if you want to make a gravy. Got a little bit of olive oil, which I'm just going to rub on the outside of the meat. And that's it. So nice simple ingredients, sort of things you've got in your store cupboard, you know, very easy to get, but it makes this piece of meat really delicious. Now incidentally, this rub we're using, you can virtually use it on pork or chicken, anything you like. Makes it really delicious, so give it a go. So with this rub, I'm just going to basically just mix these all together by hand. Just try and mix it up nice and evenly. And then I'm just going to bring the joint of meat and rub this all on the outside. Now first of all, before I do rub this on the outside, I'm going to get some olive oil and put a little bit on the outside of the meat. So let's just bring this into view. Splash a little bit of oil, like so. And just kind of rub that all the way over. And this is going to help all these lovely sort of spice mix sit on the outside. Now I'm just going to rub that in. I'm going to turn it over. And again, same on the bottom. Don't forget the ends as well. There you go, just got the last bit. Oh, smelling good already. Beautiful. So now we've got the beef all prepared, we've got that rub all the way on the outside, and I've got the 2 halves of the onion there. Now what I'm going to do is switch my oven on and get it preheated and get this cooking. So I've got my oven preheated. Now temperature wise, I've got mine at 230 degrees Celsius, 450 Fahrenheit, gas mark 8. Now, as I say, initially we're just going to give it 10 minutes at this temperature, just to kind of give it a kickstart. After 10 minutes, we're going to reduce the temperature down and also calculate how long we need to cook it for, so we get it just how you want. So leave it for 10 minutes and then turn the temperature down. So we've had a joint of beef in the oven, preheated oven, at that higher temperature of 230 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, just to give it a bit of a kickstart, get that meat cooking. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to open it up. I'm just going to pour some warm water in there from the kettle, because because, you know, it's good to have a little bit of liquid in the bottom because it helps to make the gravy. And I think also make sure you've got enough juices to sort of baste your meat. So if it dries out, just add a little bit more warm water each time. Now what I'm going to do now is reduce the temperature down. So I'm going to turn mine down to 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is gas mark 4. Now once you've done that, you've then got to decide how long you're going to be cooking this meat for, because depending how long you cook it, depends how it's going to come out. Now I'm looking to get mine round about medium, so it's pinky inside, good way to serve it. Now to establish how long I need to cook the meat to get it sort of medium, I use the following formula. First of all, got the weight of the meat. Now for every half a kilo, so 500 grams, you cook for 25 minutes. Now mine weighs 2 kilograms, so it's 4 times 25, which is 100 minutes, and then you add on another 25 minutes. So to get my meat medium, I'm going to cook for 125 minutes. Now if you like your meat, so it's rare, so it's, you know, a lot of red inside, then instead of using the 25 minutes, just use 20 minutes. So total cook time, if you want it rare, would be 100 minutes. And equally, if you wanted it well done, so there's no pink, no blood, then instead of using 25 minutes again, use 30 minutes. So to get this well done, you're looking at about 150 minutes. So carry on cooking, same temperature all the way through, and don't forget to baste your meat as often as you can, really. Every 20 minutes is good. Now whilst I'm waiting for the beef to sort of, you know, cook up and roast, I'm going to squash down my few cloves of garlic. Squash it down so it's nicely crushed. Once you've got it nicely crushed, just add in a bit of vinegar. Now I'm going to use red wine vinegar, but you could use white wine vinegar or even white wine, red wine, whatever you want. So just kind of squash that together and leave those flavours of the garlic to come out into the vinegar. So leave that, and just at the end, probably the last 20-30 minutes, we'll add that and it'll just give it a beautiful flavour. Now I've got about 45 minutes of cook time to go, so let's just pull this out and make sure you baste your meat, get it beautiful and nice and moist. So just pour all those juices on, and as I say, if there's not enough juice, add a little bit of water in there. So that's beautiful. Now I've also got my potatoes and, you know, carrots, parsnips, all in there, the vegetables roasting away. Now I'm going to just start making up the Yorkshire pudding batter mix, because you've got to have Yorkshire puddings with roast beef. So get on with that next. If you don't know how to make those, I've already done a video for those, but I will soon be doing an updated version with all the sort of, you know, the weights and quantities. So give that a go. Yorkshire puddings, so simple, beautiful. Now we're into the last half an hour of cooking this roast beef. Let's just pull it out a little bit. Whoa, smells absolutely wonderful. Now I've got my garlic, crushed garlic there, and I've put some red wine vinegar, just show you that. Now I'm going to just put this over the top, because it's going to give it a beautiful flavour. Now I do a similar one for chicken, because it really just adds a beautiful flavour at the last minute. Oh, it's delish. Just pour it on. Now, it doesn't hurt also to kind of get those juices and just pour them over the top. Oh, lovely. Oh, that garlic makes it smell absolutely wonderful. Put that back in, carry on cooking, last half an hour, and make sure you've got your potatoes and Yorkshire puddings all ready when you need them. Now I'm just going to baste my meat, which I've been doing for every 20-25 minutes, and now I've got that beautiful garlic on top. Oh, it's smelling so good, absolutely delicious. Now also, let's put that back, got the roasted parsnips, potatoes, the carrots in there. Close that up, keep that cooking. Now if I just show you above, look at that, got my Yorkshire puddings. They're looking absolutely scrummy. So it's all kind of coming together. So hopefully at the end of it, we can serve it all up. It's all nice and warm, and all looking delicious. So I've finished cooking the beef. I've had mine in there for just over 2 hours. I set the timer. Always remember to set the timer so you can get your beef just how you want it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull mine out, lay it on the table, and then what I'm going to do is leave it to tenderise. Now I'm going to cover mine very loosely in a bit of tin foil, leave mine probably for about half an hour so it's nice and tender and really lovely to eat. So I've taken my joint out of the oven. Now what I'm going to do is, for the last time, I'm going to put some of those juices on because this really flavours it up, keeps it nice and moist, beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip all the juices in the bottom of the pan into a bowl or a glass and let them separate so I can make a gravy with the fat and the juices. Now I'm also going to cover this up very loosely, bit of tin foil, for about half an hour so it really tenderises, nice and easy to carve, absolutely delicious. So let's take the juices out, put the tin foil on and leave it for half an hour. Just cover that up loosely, a little bit of tin foil, let that tenderise. Now I've left my beef for half an hour to tenderise. Oh, let's get a plate. I'm just going to transfer that onto a plate there. Beautiful. Now any of those juices that are left, put them in your gravy. So I'm just going to pour those juices in there. Now obviously you could put the onion in the gravy, give it a slightly more, you know, sort of oniony flavour, or serve those up separately. Absolutely delicious because they're slightly caramelised. Beautiful. Just move the gravy out of the way. Keep that warm. Now, I've got the main event there. Look at that. Beautiful beef. And keep your fingers crossed. This is going to be nice and pinky inside. Now let's just carve this. Just going to turn it around to make it a little bit easier. We're going to carve this. Now obviously on the end, it's going to be slightly more done than what you've got in the middle. Now the good thing about this joint is you can carve it nice and thin, which makes it really nice when you want to eat it. Look at that, starting to get pinky. And the more you go through, the more pinky it's going to become. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. Absolutely delicious. And the smells as well. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, that is so good. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to turn this round for the camera. I'm going to show you beautiful looking meat. Now I'm going to serve mine up as a complete roast dinner because I've got Yorkshire puddings, roast potatoes and parsnips, bit of gravy. Delish. And I've got that gravy. I've made this from all the juices. And that is absolutely wonderful. Gravy goes there. Now I'm just going to try some of that. Obviously I'm going to go for the meat first because that is looking scrummy. That is delicious. Absolutely delicious. It's so soft. Nice and pinky. So it's, you know, it's really easy to eat. That is delicious. Absolutely. Look, there's a little Yorkshire pudding there. And some of that gravy. Try that. Yummy. Lovely gravy. So overall, really delicious meal. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. I mean, look at that. Roast potato. Put a bit of that meat with it. You can't go wrong. Oh, delish. Thanks for watching my videos. Hope to see you again soon. The Original Naked Chef.